Please, if you are joining this training, can you please mute your audio pending till we give room for questioning. So thanks for joining us for another Tally Prime training. We sincerely thank you guys for your calls during the week, for your suggestions. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love everyone. And we want to also tell you that, as some people have suggested, that we need to give them certificates after the whole training. So the process is on the way. Before we through with today's training, I will give you the updates on the certificate. Also today on the training, on the Tally Prime training, I'm not alone. I have a colleague that will be joining us also, that will be taking some aspects of the training. Her name is Juliet Adigwe, Mrs. So she'll be joining us. But before we start, I don't know, maybe you have, though we'll still do a recap of what we discussed last week, but I don't know, maybe there is any question that that you have, or there is something you don't understand in the course of review of what we did last week. I don't know if there is anyone in the house that has a question, or that we have some place you need us to just review before we move on. Let's give just 5 minutes for that. Any question? If you have any question based on Tally Prime that we discussed last week, we started with masters last week. We created.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, please, thank you. Please, I want a clarification on the area of grouping.
Okay.
Okay, you have plant, machinery, and equipment, I think, but we are putting all the items under it, like motor vehicle, building, and all that. I think there should be motor vehicle, you have those stuff under it, and maybe building will be under assets. I don't.
That's what we did last week. If you check your balance sheet, for example, you can see the grouping is plant and machinery equipment. Is that what you are saying?
Yes. But I discovered we put building under it also.
Okay, yes, thank you for that. So it should have been plants, it should have been PP, that's a property, right? Property,
Yes,
right?
plant and equipment.
Plants and equipment, yes, thank
you. Okay, so that it can accommodate building and all other items.
So it shows you guys are following. So from here, you can see property, plant, and equipment. So from there, you can see building, class of building, class of motor vehicle, and class of machines. And, just a test data, you can also add more.
Okay, sorry, before we proceed, does that mean we can, with this now, we don't need to have fixed assets separately again?
Fixed, as in?
Like I'm looking at it when you're preparing balance sheet, you have fixed assets, and that's non-current asset and current assets. Does that mean we don't have separate current asset? I mean, non-current asset again?
No, you can still, I told you that this thing has no limitation. You understand?
Okay.
I don't want to go into full detail because of some non-accounting graduates,
Okay.
Let's just go in as basic, you understand? But by the time you go into detail of that, some of undergraduates or non-accounting experienced guys following us, they may get lost, you understand? So by the time we can also do that by saying you create one group, right? You call the group fixed assets, right? Sorry,
current asset.
Current assets. Not current assets. That'll be under primary, and it's going to be assets, right? So we now come to this, you now come to alter, right? Property, then you put, okay, because we made this one as primary. Okay, that's the thing, because we made this one as primary, and once you make it as primary, it means it's standing alone. You understand? So for that purpose, we may not be able to bring in property, plant, and machinery under non-current, but you can. I believe you guys understand what we are trying to achieve.
Thank you.
Yeah. So any other question before we do a general review of what we did last week? Any other question, observation? Okay, so if there is none, so let's just review quickly what we did last week, because some people were unable to join us due to one reason or the other last week. So last week we discussed about creating the company. We created Abuja company and one Ibadan company. So you can see, if you come here, you can alter your company. Let's say you want to change the address, or you have another subsidiary or sister company you want to create. You know, I told you that Tally Prime, with Tally Prime, you can have as much as possible companies in one license. So you can create another company. So for the purpose of those that were not available last week, let's just rush it. You come to create company, and this is the name of the company. You can just say London Business School. That's your sister company. You can say, okay, they are based in Kano. That's the state. Other information, very easy, you can put. So your financial, similar thing we did last week. Your financial year, it can be 1/4 or it can be 1/7. It depends. But most companies, as I told us, they use January to December as their financial year. So once you are done with that, this is currency. Unless if the company is not based in Nigeria, that is when you need to change the symbol. So you run it. The moment you run it, you can just do your company setup. They are very explanatory. You can just go through them, accounts, inventory, and all that. They are very explanatory. So this is that new company. So you can now start building the data by getting, if it's an existing company, they will have probably audited statements or their last management account. So you can just build it, develop it. So that's what we did last week. And last week we were able to do some financial grouping. We also we did inventory grouping also. We created some inventory stock. Okay, sorry, I'm under London Business School. So you need to click Abuja Venture so that it take you to the existing company. So we created some stock items last week, because the company we are developing is a spaghetti company. And for a spaghetti company, they are manufacturing company. You need to have inventory, have finished goods, raw material, production, and all that. So we did that last week. These are the grouping: finished goods, packaging, raw material, rejected, and work in progress. So now let's proceed to today's course. So I told us during our conversation on social media that today we are going to concentrate on transactions. Last week we have treated masters. Today we are concentrating on transactions, and in transaction you have inventory transactions and accounting transactions. So I'm going to proceed with inventory. So my colleague will take us through the accounting voucher very soon. So now, under the transactions, we have vouchers. All the vouchers, they are here. All the vouchers, even if you have any customized vouchers, they are all here. So now we are going like this. I know you guys are ready, and you are also building up your data from that side. So now let's come to, this is voucher. Let me go back. Let me click it again. Vouchers. We have contra, we have payments, receipts, journal, sales, purchase, order vouchers. Now, all these vouchers, they are not alone. We have sub. They are just like head. Under contra, you may have, you see, we have contra and payroll. Under payments, we have payments, debit notes, rejection, out. Under receipts, we have receipts, as in like customer receipts, credit, no rejection in. Under journal, we have stock, journal, financial journal, physical stock. So under sales, we have sales, delivery, sales order. Likewise, under purchase, we have like this. So let me just take you through the process flow. You know, in organization, if they receive before you receive raw material, you'll have placed purchase order. So after you send your purchase order to your supplier, if they are okay with it, then they supply you. So once they supply you, you pass receipt note as evidence that you have received the stock. Now, let me tell you that this purchase order is just a memorandum voucher. It's not affecting your supplier account and it's not affecting your stock. It's just to, to tell to show intention to your supplier. Meanwhile, receipt note, which some people also call GRN, good receipt note, that once you pass it, is going to recognize your stock. It will debit your stock, but the ledger, the amount will not show in your supplier account. But when you now raise purchase, that is when it will affect your supplier account. The reason why the flow chart is like this is for control purpose, because purchase order is being anchored by procurement department in most companies, procurement department. Why receipt note is being handled by store, while purchase is being handled by finance. So for check and balance, they will want this department to raise this, another department to raise this, so that to reduce fraud and errors. But over the years, some company, due to personnel they have, they may just say, we have the full control. The purchase order can be manual voucher. They don't need a system. Let us just go straight to purchase. That's some companies for you. But some companies that have the personnel like that, they have a separate section that handle it each. So also in sales, we have similar thing in sales. Sales order, delivery note, sales. In most companies, it is the customer will place order through their sales executives, and the sales executive will get it back to the company. So on the availability of goods, because sales order is also a memorandum voucher, on the availability of goods, then they will make delivery. Meanwhile, this delivery note is handled by store and also is basically quantity. It's encouraged that there should not be amounts on a delivery note. The reason is some companies, they do send their hired vehicle to meet customers in order to reduce fraud intention, because if a driver is going with invoice or with the total, with the detail of the goods, the driver may feel like, so I'm going with 20 million worth of goods. Okay, this is how much they are selling this. The driver can divert it. So they used to send delivery note through driver, especially if it's hired vehicle to the customer, why they will send the sales invoice via mail or through dispatch rider or other means to the customer. So that's just the process flow. Now we are starting with stock, because before you can make sales, there must be stock. Without sales, without stock, there is no how you can make sales. So I'm going through, start with purchases, because even before you start producing, you must have some goods in your store before you produce at all. So, and the first approach is to raise purchase order. But because of our time, I will only go through purchase. Ideally should have been we raise purchase order, we raise GRN, and we raise purchases. And all the three vouchers must track each other. They must track each other. Even if supplier A is supplying 5 items in different batches, they must track each other. So let's just go through purchase. Let's assume we have passed purchase order, GRN. Now it's time to pass purchase. Now the first thing here is supplier invoice number. So we are going to input the supplier invoice number. Let's say the supplier invoice number is SAL/21/45. Let's just assume, and the date is like say 12/6. Let me just see if this thing will go. Okay, because we are in educational mode, let me just say 121 like that. So now party name, party account name, that is our supplier. This is our supplier ledger, our supplier field. Here is asking for our supplier name, but because last week we didn't create any supplier account, so let's do it now. Let's just say Dangote. Okay, don't let me just say Danga Industries Limited. So this one will be under, the old version as per is, they call it on sundry creditor, but this sundry creditor we can change it to payable. All we need to do just to go to master, click author, and edit this group. You see, group from sundry creditors to payable, because that is the current trend. So now I'm just using it for now. Maintain bill by bill, yes. You can put default credit period. If Danga Industries has given us 15 days of credit payment, this means after 15 days we must pay them. So there is a report in this software that will show you that these creditors, they are overdue for 15 days. So after that 15 days, the system will start counting. So this will enable us to monitor the due date for our supplier. Now check for credit days during voucher. You can say yes, so that any voucher you are posting, even if you're unable to go to the report or you are forgotten, you'll be able to, get the concept of the supplier that you guys have been owing this person. There is no need for interest. You can just put address 12 Benson Avenue, Abuja. That's the address, Abuja. There is no Abuja. Let me just use Abia. So bank, if they have bank detail, you can just put. So the moment you create it there, it has been registered here as Danga. So now receipt note. Receipt note is the GRN. That is your own internal document. You can just say GRN/07/21, for example. So the data you receive it in the store, they receive it in the store, you put it there. So meanwhile, if you want to merge 2 or 3 GRNs together in one purchases, you will list them here and you move. Receipt note document. Now, receipt note document, some company, they have GRN and also receipt slip. If it's such company, they can just put their slip number. Now, then dispatch through, that is the name, the truck number. Let's say the truck number that brought the goods is MUS 414 AK. That's the truck. That's the truck number. Destination, let's say this thing was brought to Ikeja. Agent, the driver, dispatch through road. Agent number, Mr. Kazim, a bill of lading, date, motor vehicle number, you can just MUS 718P W. So once that is done, this is Danga. So now, purchase ledger. All your purchase are reporting to a certain ledger. All your purchases, they are reporting to a certain ledger in terms of value. You know, this entry is going to, the purchase is going to credit your supplier and debit that purchase ledger with your stock. So now let's just create purchase account. Purchase accounts. So purchase account under purchase account. So just accept, no need of other details. So now what are we buying from them? We are buying our raw material. We are buying flour. Location is raw material store. We are receiving the item in raw material store. Let's say 1000 kg at 250 naira. That's item one. Another item, we bought wheat from them from this to the same location. Raw material 6,000 at the rate of 130. Another item, we bought spicy from them to raw material. I believe I'm not too fast anyway. We bought 1.3 at the rate of 16 naira. So let's assume these are the few items you purchase from Danga Industries. Now, there is need for us to put VAT. So just look at this thing very well. After a year, you list any other thing, this line will be coming down. This line, it will be coming down. You see, it will drop down. But let's assume you've listed your 3 items and you don't have any other item. This line will close. So now, if you now have some other associated costs, like say you want to include VAT to it, because these items, they are all VATable, and you want to say, okay, let's add VAT to it. So once you, after this line, this is your subtotal. After this subtotal, you come here, this line, because we have not created any VAT. So let's just create it now. Say VAT on purchase. So VAT on purchase is under what? Under duty and taxes. So you can just put it. You want to configure the automatic rate and just say 7.5. And if it's a company that probably the rates keep on changing, but we don't have that in Nigeria. So now on total sales, no round up. Round off is, let's say you have 0.5500. The system will automatically just round it up. So you can see automatically the 7.5 has been calculated. So that's your VAT. So let's now assume that you have other, like say delivery or something charges. You can also add it here. It will be added here and it will give you total of 1.1 million. But let's just leave it like this, because most companies, they don't need to charge their supplier transport. So after all, this is your reference. In case you are now paying this Danga Industry, you must make sure you select this reference. You can see I told us there are 15 days. It means, you know, this invoice is January 1, 2021. It means after 15 days, anything from 16th of January will start owing Danga, because we have 15 days credit with them. And because this has been automatically configured, you can't change it. But if you have not configured it in the master, from the master, you'll be allowed to change it. So narration, you can just put narration being blah 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 if necessary, but sometimes it doesn't make sense to me putting narration here, being so far you have all the items listed there, but some still feel like there is need for narration. You can just put, oh, you see now, date cannot be lower the financial begin date. You know, we said our financial year. Good morning. How will discount be treated? Okay, so let me just go back to that. This is supplier, is not sales. If supplier wants to give you discount, the moment you send LPO to them, are you getting it? They will have given you the discount, and the invoice they will give you, the discount will be there. But notwithstanding, if you still want discount to show here that, okay, we want discount, you can just come here. And because we don't have any discount currently, we don't have any discount ledger currently, all we need to do is to create by pressing. You can just press on your keyboard Alt C. It will take you to create module. Alt C. From here, if you can't see create menu where you can create, want to add discount to this place, just say Alt C. So now let's say discount on freight, for example. Discount on freight, and is your supplier. If you say your supplier gives you discount and they've not taken it out of the LPO, so it means discount on freight is going to reduce your own transport charges, because you can't take it as income or any other thing. So you look for the appropriate grouping. You understand that discount on freight, okay, let's say is want to use it to reduce our indirect expenses, you can just put, or if the company has any other suitable menu, any other suitable grouping, you can just put. But now discount on freight, if you are discounting as per percentage, fine, because this place is for you to input your percentage. But if it's not percentage, it's as per just a round figure, just come here and say minus 600. You see, this place has reduced, meaning the supplier gave you discount of 6,000, and let's say the supplier give you discount of 25,000. You see, we have here 1,185. It has reduced. But meanwhile, let's say in another way, if your supplier now charge you cost of delivery, you understand, instead of this place to be minus, it should not be minus, it should just be, okay, let's just leave this one as discount on free, and let's have another line to say charges on delivery. Let me just say charges on delivery. Probably your supplier used to charge you based on this delivery, and your supplier charge you like 12,000. Can just put here. So any other associated costs will be put here. In case of foreign goods, let's say you import foreign goods and you are booking, here after the FOB freight, you are going to have your duty. Let me just use this as part of foreign so that we will not waste much time. So this will affect the VAT. No, it will not affect VAT, because VAT has its own line. The VAT is on total cost. You can say, you said VAT is on total cost. This one is to stand alone. If you go to their respective ledger, we'll see this amount. If you go to VAT on purchase, after this entry, you go to VAT on purchase, you see the entry. You go to discounts, charges on delivery, you see their figure there. It will not affect. This one is standing alone. So now, let me just link this to foreign purchase. In your foreign purchase, you have duty, you have terminal charges, you have shipping charges, you have logistics and other transport. The same way I've listed VAT on purchase, discount on freight, charges on delivery, this is the same way you are going to list them, like import duty, terminal charges, shipping charges, logistics, NAFDAC, and every other thing. You are going to list them like that. And up here, you are going to have the name of the item, the FOB amount will be here, and likewise the freight, because that will match up with the commercial invoice you received from your overseas supplier. I believe we all understand this place. Let me just save this place, and I will just give room for, okay, it's not going because we said the financial year should start from our financial year is from January 1, but our data entry starts from July 1. Because we are in educational mode, that is why that is not allowed. But let me change the dates. So if you want to change the, just come here. You want to go back, for the purpose of those that were not there in last lesson, you want to just go back to your previous page, just press escape. So now this is dates. You can just change the, let me see if it will go, but I doubt if it will go to that July. Okay, fine. So let me see. Okay, fine. So now I've changed it to July 1 because we say our postings should start from July 1. Hello. Okay. So now let me accept this one. So I've accepted. Let's come to display reports, account books, ledger. You can see them there. This is VAT on purchase. You see, standing alone is not affecting anything.